please welcome from Keystone Financial in Allentown, Pennsylvania, Bill Rambo.
As the founder and president of RamboPlus, it was my pleasure to meet the gentleman you're about to hear from, Mike Fischer. Now, it's important to understand that mid-2010, maybe third quarter 2010, Client First Financial, LLC, Mike's firm, did not exist. Now, granted, Mike had been in the business for about 22 years at that point, was a regular ACE qualifier, $1 million round table, those types of things. But Client First Financial did not exist. It's also important to note that by the end of 2011, Client First Financial was chosen one of the 5 finalists in the Practice of the Year contest. And by the way, Mike's production increased dramatically as well, as did his revenue and his profitability. In 2010, Mike finished the ACE race at number 96. In 2011, he finished at number 27. You'll hear about some of the tools, processes, and people, team members who have helped build that. And by the way, right now, as of this week, he's number 39 in the race for ACE. So it's my pleasure to help navigate some of this conversation. And indeed, it's my pleasure to introduce my dear friend, the president and CEO of Client First Financial, Mr. Mike Fischer.
Hello, hello, hello.
Very good. All right, let's get right to it. We have a series of questions. Question 1, if you could please tell the audience a little bit about your background and your entree, your entrance into the industry.
Well, I was no different than most people. I came out of college, had no natural market. So all I had was my Project 100, you know, family and friends and all that. But one of the things I've had over the years is this drive to succeed. I have that I'll show you type mentality. It's more for me, but sometimes I like to prove it to other folks that, yeah, you know, maybe I'm a little bit better than I think. Over the years, I have tried everything and anything that was available to make myself better. And one of the things I've been fortunate to have, I don't know if, I hope everyone's like this, but I've been extremely fortunate. I've had a couple of managing partners who backed me up no matter what I've done. Brian Heaps was our managing partner for several years at Keystone Financial Management. And then when he left, Tom Nichols, who continues to be my managing partner, known Tom my whole career, been very, very supportive in helping me get to where I want to be. And then that was around the time that I met Bill. As Bill mentioned, he had joined Keystone in November, and we started talking. And I finally had an aha moment working with Bill around July of 2010.
He's slow sometimes on the uptake. You have to stick with him.
It was, we were having our meeting and Bill says, okay, you got this whole great idea. What are you going to call yourself? And I was very proud, and I stood there and I said, the Fischer Group. And Bill, what was your response to that?
Yuck.
Well, I thought it was something worse than that, but yeah, okay, we are recorded.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, so if it's going to be that bad, how do I fix it?
Actually, if I may.
Yeah, go ahead.
Your response to me, so, well, what would you call it, genius?
All right. And what did you say?
I didn't say anything. I told you to go ask the people who you impact every day, the ones you deal with every day.
Bill's idea was this. Ask your clients why they work with you. So for the next 2 weeks, every appointment I had, at the end of my appointment, I say, by the way, why do you work with me? And as they were telling me these things, I was jotting them all down. And at the end of that 2 weeks, Bill and I get together again, and he says, did you do it? I go, yeah, here's the sheet. He goes, what do you think?
What does it tell you?
And I said, it doesn't tell me anything. You know, I didn't know what it told me.
Actually, I think what you said is, I don't know what it tells me. What do you think, genius?
Yeah. And then, what did you say? You started reading the words.
It was, I think, 3 pages single-spaced of just lists of attributes and activities and things of that sort. Things like, you're always prepared when we meet with us. You communicate with us on a level that we can understand. You take the time that we feel is necessary to meet with us. You don't rush us along. You do a lot of different things that came out in this list. And so I looked at him and I said, well, it's obvious to me that you do everything you can and the team does everything they can to help keep the interests of the client first. So I said, how about Client First Financial?
And that's how it was born, because I thought that was a fantastic way. And as he was saying the words, then it started coming to me exactly what Bill was saying.
It's been a pleasure over the last year and a half, or whatever it's been now, almost coming up on 2 years, I guess, to actually work with Mike and the team and to roll up our sleeves to help get things accomplished, to help implement systems. And one of the things we haven't gotten away from, and forgive me, but I often, when I refer to client first, I say we, because they make me feel like one of the team, is that we regularly go back to clients and ask them what do they think about ideas that we have. So, what does Client First Financial look like today?
Today, we have, I have 2 business administrators and 1 part-time administrator. Christina Munstein is our business administrator. She handles and processes all of our business. We have Joy Laudenslager, who processes all of our customer service and handles all of our customer service needs. We have 3 business divisions. First is our retirement plans division. That's headed up by Nick Solis. Now, we were fortunate enough to get Nick a year ago in May. He was doing 401k planning with another company, came over to us, and over the last 18 months has been really working like going nuts with it, and we're now really starting to see the fruits of his labor. Our next business division is our fee-based planning division, and that's headed up by Matt Funk. And Matt's been working on that. That's a whole different change of attitude, thinking, instead of thinking commission-based, fee-based.
Now we're talking fees for planning, not
yes,
fee-based
fees for
products.
planning, that's correct. And Matt is now starting to pick up with that and doing a great job. And then my area is the advanced planning part, where we'll do the advanced planning for the estate or business owners.
So what separates Client First Financial from other firms in the industry?
Well, first is about 3 years ago, in my business plan, I made it a point to say I want to be #1 in the network. So by making myself, and put that in the plan, I've set the expectations for us to offer a higher level of service, higher level of commitment to not only to the firm, but to our clients. So that's very, very important. The other thing that we have is I feel we have a huge home court advantage. Our office is a barn. It's a barn that I bought back in 2010, renovated it, and the first thing when a client walks into our office, I have a 23-foot high ceiling. First thing they do is they look up. Now, from a psychological standpoint, you may not think that means much, but I always want my clients looking up. I don't want them looking down, all right? We don't have any TVs in the place. There's no financial channel on or anything like that. And one of the things that Joy does every day, she sends out an email to all of us so that we know who's coming in, who they're coming to see, why they're seeing them, and then we make it a point of greeting people who come into our office. All of us make it a point to greet people when they come to our office, to give them a sense that they're being welcome there. Again, it's psychological, but we feel it's a huge advantage over somebody who just doesn't care.
But it's also demonstrating our values, keeping the client first.
Well, that's
making them
right.
Feel
yes.
taken.
The other thing that we did last year through all this was I developed the Client First Foundation. That's a donor-advised fund that is being run by a local firm in the Lehigh Valley, very well-known firm. And the reason I wanted to put that together was to not only get back to the community, but as this thing grows, we're going to use it to also help promote our brand and for other marketing opportunities.
My final thought is this. I would suggest strongly that those of you who are serious about growing a substantial practice, increasing revenue and profitability, think about being like Mike. And what I mean by that is, and I mentioned this near the beginning today of our part here, that his curiosity and his drive to examine tools, processes, products, people, can they help me improve my practice, reach my goals, is at the core of what makes him special and is at the core of what has helping to fuel this rise of Client First Financial. So I would suggest you be more, you increase your curiosity quotient. There are plenty of resources you have. People in your office, people in other industries, coaches and all that other type of stuff. People like Mike, he'll take your call.